In your headlines, a very unfortunate incident unfolded in the nation's capital. HE Nigel Dakin speaks on the spike in crime, and the countdown to the Queen's Baton Relay is on.
From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providencial is your #1 source for news. I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Friday newscast right to your door. Newswatch starts now.
A very unfortunate incident unfolded in the nation's capital on Wednesday as sources report the death of a man after passengers revealed that he jumped overboard the Carnival cruise ship that they were traveling on. Newswatch has that report.
A fun-filled and exciting day at the Margaritaville Cruise Center in Grand Turk turned into tragedy as a family would later become overcome with grief after a loved one plummeted into the deep open waters as they set sail for the Bahamas. Sources tell Newswatch that on Wednesday, mere hours after setting sail from the Grand Turk Cruise Center at around 7 p.m., a male passenger jumped overboard the Carnival Horizon cruise ship. The cruise left Grand Turk at 5 p.m. Cruise ship operators launched a search and rescue operation. However, several hours into the search, the team recovered the lifeless body of the male passenger. Cruise officials say the man jumped from the vessel's 11th deck. Carnival cruise officials commenting on the incident said, quote, "Together with the U.S. Coast Guard, the ship's crew located and recovered the body of the guest. Carnival's care team is providing assistance to the family," end quote. The Carnival Horizon docked in Nassau earlier this morning, which was its final port of call on that voyage, and is scheduled to arrive back in Miami on Saturday. Officials also reported that another passenger went overboard the Carnival Valor back in February in the Gulf of Mexico. That passenger was never found.
His Excellency Nigel Dakin speaks on the spike in crime hours after the issue was addressed by Chief of Police Trevor Botting. We take a look at their efforts in combating the daunting issue in this next report.
Governor His Excellency Nigel Dakin is the head of national security for these Turks and Caicos Islands and possesses a broad portfolio of what that title entails, including the fight against crime. Over the last week, law enforcement has been busy with report after report of armed robberies and the launching of murder investigations, a total of 3 within the last few days. His Excellency Dakin shared his thoughts on the brazen spike while offering new tactics he says should bring positive results in the fight against crime. Speaking on his upcoming meeting with the second largest UK police force, expected to provide extra practical and continued support. He also provided that he and the Commissioner of Police, Trevor Botting, had previously authorized an outside team to review the force's protocol and approach to serious crimes in order to ensure that the investments made are effective and being put to good use. He also spoke on the development of skills of the force's tactical unit. The governor, in his statement speaking on 2 of those 3 murders that took place over the last few days, said, quote, "2 of these murders are entirely innocent victims. One, it seems, targeted because it was known he would be in possession of a significant amount of money and was in an isolated place. The other, randomly abducted off the street, taken to an ATM, and having offered no resistance, killed," end quote. Commissioner of Police Trevor Botting addressed the public on the increase in crime on Thursday.
This level of violence, perpetrated by young men, has left a trail of tragedy across these beautiful islands that is unacceptable in any civilized society. On Friday, the 11th of March, there were 4 robberies across 4 different locations within a period of 90 minutes.
He made one last appeal for the culprits to put an end to the terrorizing acts before closing out.
I'm appealing to them directly to stop the cycle of violence. A cycle that makes you more likely to die a violent death. A cycle that may ultimately result in you spending most of your life in prison. And a cycle that is causing death and misery to others. I'm also appealing to those people who are close to these young men. I'm asking you to plead with them to stop the violence and take a different path before they too end up being shot and killed in the very cycle of violence they are perpetuating.
Officials launched a gun amnesty program on March 1st, which is to run throughout the entire month. However, Newswatch learns that officials are anything but impressed with the lack of progress thus far.
Don't go anywhere. More Newswatch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
In an interview with long-standing educator and former Education Minister Dr. Carlton Mills, he gave Newswatch an insight into what it took to become Carlton Mills. Take a look.
Dr. Mills possesses a wealth of education and experience, holding a certificate in teacher education, a bachelor's degree in history and sociology, and a diploma, master's degree, and doctorate in education. He explains himself to be a very passionate person who strives to give young people the push that they need in order to succeed.
I think try to be a very people's person, especially young people, and trying to encourage young people to develop to their full potential, whether it's academic or whether it's the world of work. But the point is, I think my main interest is to help young people find themselves in this world, guide them in respect to their careers. And I think that is one of the main reasons why I chose teaching as a profession.
He previously served as the principal of the Marjorie Baston High School from 1990 to 1992, principal of the Raymond Gardner High School from 1992 to 1997, vice principal of the Turks and Caicos Islands Community College from 1997 to 2007, and Minister of Education, Youth, Sports, and Culture from 2007 to 2009.
Initially, I wanted to be a guidance counselor, but that didn't work out. When I did social work, and when I came back, I was thrown into the classroom. And I think from then I realized that that was my calling. So I think being the kind of passionate person, the caring and loving person, it thrills me when I see young people excelling and progressing.
Mills revealed that he gets total satisfaction and happiness at the sight of young people succeeding in their respective careers, which he believes results from his very humble background, as he stated.
I believe it had to do with my background. I came from a very humble family. My father worked in the salt ponds in South Caicos. My mother worked in the fishing plant. And I could identify with the struggles of many of the young men and women, children in South Caicos at the time, when we only had a primary school in South Caicos, which was the highest level of education, and in Grand Turk, the only high school, and many of us could not afford, our parents could not afford to send us to Grand Turk to go to high school. And so many, the year I passed the common entrance, which was the GSET, which is developed into the GSET afterwards, Pearson High in South Caicos started. So, because otherwise than that, I probably would have ended up being a fisherman.
Dr. Carlton explained that due to his family's financial situation at the time, he was not able to attend high school on the island of Grand Turk, which at the time was the only island with a functioning school.
My parents could not afford to send me to Grand Turk. And I think that I was able to go to high school right in South Caicos. Actually, prior to around the same time when Pearson High started, many people probably don't know, but the Calvary Baptist Church in South Caicos also started a high school. So we had actually 2 high schools in South Caicos, but they didn't last very long. I went there for a year because my father was a member of that church. But the point is, I think knowing the struggles that young people during my time went through in South Caicos, it created that passion and that drive in me that whenever I become a full-blown human man, I'm going to go make a special effort to help young people, particularly young people who come from deprived families.
Considering the fact that Mills did not succumb to his circumstances, he was inquired how he made his dream possible, even when everything seemed impossible.
I think 2 reasons. My father, he pushed me, and because he made sure that I got a secondary education, and his words to me was always that I don't want you to be at the same level that I am. Because in South Caicos at the time, the only thing, like the Caicos Islands, most of the young people turned to farming. And in South Caicos at the time, your main option was fishing, right? Because, you know, that's the mainstay of the economy. It still is. But I think my big push came after high school, after graduating from high school. My brother went to UWI in Jamaica, and then he went back to Jamaica, and he went to Mico, sorry. Then when he went back to UWI, he stayed in Jamaica, and he was teaching, got married to my sister-in-law, Myrtle. And both of them were teachers and teaching in Jamaica at the time. My brother encouraged me to come to Jamaica to go to school.
Seemingly at the time, all the odds were against Mills's education career when he was denied of multiple scholarships. However, he stated that it took mindset and discipline to look for the light at the end of the tunnel.
I went to Jamaica. I left Turks and Caicos with $500 in my pocket. And I said to myself, I am going to college. That's how I ended up in Jamaica with the push of my sister-in-law and my brother. I went to Excelsior Community College, and it started from there. No scholarship from government. Thank God at the time, Michael Manley, who was Prime Minister of Jamaica, had a policy whereby teaching and nursing, anyone who wanted to do that, those 2 areas, it was free. You didn't have, and you got $72 a month as pocket money. At that time, that was quite a bit of money in Jamaica. Out of that, I paid a little bit for food, but I survived off $32 every month, having to pay bus fare back home, having to buy lunch. For 2 years, made that sacrifice. And that's why I want to say to young people, not everything comes easy. And that's why I appreciate where I am today, because I know the sacrifice that I had to make. And it requires us to make greater sacrifices if we want to achieve. Stop waiting on something to come to you. You know, you must be determined. You must have that determination.
Dr. Mills is known as someone with a wealth of talent and knowledge, which he evidently shares with the world, and more specifically with future generations. Stay tuned for more of this story in a subsequent newscast. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
The The countdown to the Queen's Baton Relay is on, being only 20 days away from the arrival of the baton in the Turks and Caicos Islands. We bring you the details.
The baton will arrive on April 6 via Inter-Island Airways at 11:45 a.m. from Nassau in the Bahamas before the start of the 2022 Birmingham Games set for July 28th to August 8th in the United Kingdom. The baton is expected to travel to the Cayman Islands after leaving the Turks and Caicos Islands. On July 28th, the Queen will read the message to the athletes that she placed in the baton before setting out on its epic journey of 72 nations and territories, lasting an incredible 294 days, covering 90,000 miles, and having 7,500 baton bearers trusted with the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to carry the baton. Coordinator of the QBR, Mrs. Rita Gardner, OBE, stated on Sports Watch that she's pleased to announce that Turks and Caicos will have approximately 85 to 90 of those baton bearers, including our sole Olympian and world champion Delano Williams, who will run with the baton and tell his untold story. The Queen's Baton Relay is seen as a symbol of peace and unity. It's a games tradition that celebrates, connects, and excites communities and people from across the Commonwealth. The QBR is the world's longest, most inclusive relay, enabling millions of people from Africa, Asia, Oceania, the Americas, Europe, and of course the Caribbean during the build-up to the Games. During each visit, nations and territories organize events and activities hosted by the country's Commonwealth Games Association in collaboration with the government, private sector, and civic organizations. It's said that this event will showcase the country's culture, historic sites, and breathtaking beaches, as well as the hospitality of local people and the uniqueness of each community. The president of the Commonwealth Games Association and executive members reveal plans, which include a star-studded welcome for the Queen's Baton's arrival by His Excellency Governor Nigel Dakin, Deputy Governor Her Excellency Anya Williams, Premier Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, Ministers of Tourism Honorable Josephine Connolly, Minister of Sports Honorable Rachel Taylor, along with their directors and heads of departments. Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Edwin Aswood, Mr. Jared Forbes, Director of Sports, and his team from the Sports Commission, together with contingent of accomplished Turks and Caicos athletes, members of the media, and well-wishers for the official handover at the Providenciales International Airport before the motorcade travels to Cheshire Hall for the hosting of the official welcome ceremony. Turks and Caicos culture will reportedly be on display every step of the way, as the baton will visit North and Middle Caicos on the 7th of April, returning to Provo for the QBR, where all NGBs will be represented. On April 8th, the baton will travel to South Caicos and Salt Key, climaxing in Grand Turk, where a huge celebration is planned, celebrating the accomplishments of young people. The relay will commence at 2 p.m. from Carnival Crew Center throughout the neighborhoods of Grand Turk. Since it's International Health Week, a stop will be done at the Cockburn Town Hospital for a photo op with staff and onto the geriatrics facility for the occupants to see the baton and wave their TCI flags. The relay will conclude with the official ceremony at the parade grounds, where the Commonwealth Games Association is committed to delivering an event with a specific focus on empowering and celebrating young people. We understand this means that the Queen's Baton Relay will inspire youths to take on challenges that matter most to them, which seemingly to the athletes is more than just a Queen's Baton Relay, but a call to action and a call to make a difference.
We now take a look at the 3-day weather forecast. We start with Grand Turk. On Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 76. Winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east at 20 to 30 miles per hour. For South Caicos, on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 76. Winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east at 20 to 30 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 83, low 75. Winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, partly cloudy skies, high 82, low 75. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 76. Winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 75. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 76. Winds southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, partly cloudy skies, high 81, low 75. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. While on Monday, there will be mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 75. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. A look at the sunrise and sunset. Sunrise, 6:55 a.m. and sets at 7 p.m. High tide, 2:54 a.m., 3:25 p.m., while the low tides are at 9:30 a.m. and 9:21 p.m. That's it for the weather forecast. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future.
I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back. The National Housing Survey was launched to assist Ministry of Physical Planning officials with finalizing the TCI's housing policy. And while we await an in-depth report, the minister did let us in on a little info coming out of that survey. Here's that report.
Honorable Akira Mizik, Minister of Physical Planning, says there was an abundance of information gathered from the launch of the National Housing Survey that is imperative in assisting government in their quest to provide affordable housing for its people.
What the housing survey did indicate to us very clearly is that more of us as Turks and Caicos Islanders are actually renters than homeowners. And so that would be a mainstay of how we address the policy to create greater opportunities for us to become homeowners or unit owners in these islands.
The ministry's overall goal is to develop sustainable communities through the provision of housing to Turks and Caicos Islanders. This is expected to offer home ownership, equitable rental arrangements, and TCIG-endorsed housing developments for qualified persons.
What we've also picked up from the survey is that mixed-use development is a solution that we should be venturing into, whether that is having the possibility of residential units mixed with commercial units. We've also received responses in the survey and interest from developers of creating condo-style living options, which would provide persons full community-based development, which would have the necessary ancillary resources of open space, parks, shops, and those sorts of amenities that would make their home ownership even more conducive as they may not have the necessary land space to expand, but we are looking at providing solutions that would be innovative and meet the demands of our growing population and our demographics presently.
The National Housing Survey is now being reviewed by the Survey and Statistics Department and will assist in setting the tone for the national housing policy being developed by that ministry. The draft report document will be published for public consultation.
We will, on completion of the draft report, then take it out to public consultation through town hall meetings and online consultation, so that the thinking and the programs that the Department of Housing is seeking to introduce would have the buy-in from the public and give the public a fair chance to really influence the final decision.
The minister says the next step is to finalize the review of the survey data, publish for public consultation, and develop draft national housing policy, and finally, the process of implementation. This is all expected to take place within the year. That brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Penales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.